3 home after services. It's happening on the patio today, immediately after service. The Pet Ministry, Bake Sale, and Adoption. The fourth Wednesday of every month in the Ohm Room from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's Wednesday Wisdom Service with Reverend Ruth Ann Banner and Michael Kukuru. If you need a little midweek spiritual pick-me-up, this is just what the doctor ordered. Dr. Joe, that is. So mark your calendar for Wednesday Wisdom Service. Speaking of just what the doctor ordered, the new The Doctor Is In class is here. Wednesday, June 6th at 11 a.m. and then again in the evening at 6:30 p.m. Each class will be a different lesson. Take one for only $10 or both for $15. The Doctor Is In with Dr. Joe, Wednesday, June 6th, 11 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. Join us for both. Dale Olansky is back and she's taking us deeper. This is a 6-week experiential journey designed to deepen your spirituality through reading, discussion, and guided meditation. The investment is only $75 with a huge ROI in your spiritual bank account. Sign up today on the patio. It's time to move over into the HOV lane, but you can't do it by yourself. So why not ride share to CSL Sunday services? If you'd like to expand your circle of friends and save the planet, just sign up on the patio and make the ride share connection today. If you would like more information about all that's happening this week at the center, please refer to your bulletin.
All right, everybody on your feet. It's that time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Hey, say hello to somebody around you. Hey, David. Hey, buddy. All right, here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Did everyone recover from the royal wedding? Are we okay? You know, I left my tiara at home, but I was going to come and celebrate it with you. But was it that, you know what, though, you got to admit, that was really just the fact that, you know, millions and millions and millions, probably 1 billion people watched something loving, right? Something that was coming from a place of love. Just so different than what we're used to. So good morning. We've got, wait till you hear the gentleman that's going to be singing for us today. He comes to us from Las Vegas. Words don't even, you're in for a good one, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Chadwick, everybody. Chadwick, come on up.
Thank you. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel, don't you know it? River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, yeah, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know it? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, and that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars when you shine, you know what I mean, don't you know it? Scent of the pine, you know what I mean. No, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling so good. So good. I'm feeling good. So good. How about you? Are you feeling good? So good. So good. So good. I'm feeling good. Thank you. Thank you.
Chadwick. Woo! Wait. Go back. Tell them where you perform and in Vegas and here in Palm Springs.
Yeah, I'm coming to you from Las Vegas. I have a residency at the Red Rock Casino out in Red Rock, beautiful Summerlin, and I play all around Vegas. So, and I also play here in Palm Springs at the Purple Room from time to time. I believe I'll be back there in November. But it's wonderful to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And lucky for us, if you want to take Chadwick home, he'll have CDs for sale out on the patio. So, or right out when you walk out. So, wow, amazing. Let's hear it for this band and these singers this morning, guys. They were rocking it. They were definitely rocking it today. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're changing the service around every week. We're doing different songs. And so this week we opened up with a different song, and we're going to go into meditation with different songs. So just be patient with us, because we're working through all that too. So what I hope you do now is I want you to say our mission statement together, then we're going to move into our meditation for the morning. Good morning, Bliss. So glad you could make it. You know I love you. Yeah. All right. And Randy. So anybody else want to come up front? You know, they say that, but the closer in front, the closer you are to Jesus. So that's what they say. Used to be the bigger the hair, but that's different now. At least here. All right, let's say our mission statement together. We are a dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives one heart at a time. Let's take a deep breath in, close our eyes, bring the lights down. All right. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. Some really great things were happening, and some really tragic things are happening. And right now in this room, there's only one thing we can do, and that is to get into our spiritual space and create an opening for us to heal ourselves in order for us to go into the world and begin to heal the world. And we can't do that when we're sort of obsessing about the things that are going on in the world or in our own private lives, trying to fix them. Really, it's only really an opportunity for Spirit to come in when we open the door and our minds are open and our hearts are open and no preconceived ideas of what needs to happen. So as you breathe every breath in and as you exhale, just see yourself going into that space where things are quiet, where you know Spirit is visiting us and embodying every part of you. Take a deep breath in. Still my mind, be at peace in my awakening. I release as I love. Sing with me, please. As I love and as I give. As I give. In my awakening. In my awakening. I choose to live. I choose to live. Give me strength. Give me strength. Shine your light. Shine your light. In my awakening. In my awakening. Clear my sight. Clear my sight. All I believe. All I believe. And all I know. All I know. In my awakening. In my awakening. I let go. I let go. Let's sing Om Shanti twice. Here we go. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. And good morning, world. This is what I know. There is one life in this universe. It is a life of peace and harmony. It is a life of expansion. It is a life of truth. I recognize my oneness with this power. The I am that I am. The first and last. And in this recognition, I claim my truth right here and right now. I transcend facts and live a life of truth. 1,000 years ago, it was a fact the earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, it was a fact the earth was flat. Today, I know the truth of all existence. I have the most perfect maker's mark on my heart, made by God. And it is in that truth I now live my life. I see the perfect unfoldment in all situations, knowing the greater good is destined to unfold. It is in that mindset I realize the facts of my life change as I change my thoughts. Thoughts of peace, thoughts of love, thoughts of harmony are inside me now, and I express them outwardly today and this day forward, so that all may see the light that is within me, and they realize that they have the same light. Made by God is the truth of all existence. So I give great thanks in this knowing, in this understanding. I am so blessed to see the beauty around me, the harmony. Nature calls, and I answer. So in this gratitude, I release my word to the law of mind, knowing it is perfect in its unfoldment right here and right now. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my serenity. As within, all around, all I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love, and I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Let's take a deep breath in. Please join me. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Let's come up, band. Come on, everybody. Let's sing a bit louder. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Let's sing it like we're telling the whole world. Come on, sing out with me. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. Last time through. Come on, sing it out with me. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. We all are one. We all are one. Last time through. We all are one.
Check, check. There I am. This song I'd like to share with you is a song that I wrote. I wrote this song about Alzheimer's, dementia, the loss of memory, a cause that's very, very close to my heart. And I like to think and believe that wherever we are with our memory or maybe the loss of it, we all remember love and we all connect to that feeling of love that's so beautiful. So this is Remember Love. You're on the outside looking in, not quite sure of where you've been. Unnamed faces, familiar places. Will you connect it all again? Can't hold the moments that made you mine. We're losing who and how and when. Missing traces, time erases. Won't lose who you are, just where you've been. You remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see. Oh, you remember me. There was a time when I lost my way, was so confused until you said, our mind deceives us but heart redeems us. Follow your heart, it'll show you the way. Tonight let's both forget the past Our moments now, let's make it last. Time it binds us, love it finds us. With open hearts we hold today. You remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see. Oh, say you remember me. I'll be your breath, I'll be your sound. When no one hears you and there's no one around, I'll be your song, I'll be your bright light. When every star in the sky goes out, you remember love, so you remember me. In the darkness of the night, let me be the light you see. I know you remember me. Thank you. Thank you.
Four years ago yesterday, my dad made his transition. He had Alzheimer's for 12 years. So, yeah, that's really cathartic. Okay, get it together, Joe. All right, give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Wasn't that a beautiful song? I know. Hot flashes. Can we turn the fans on? All right, so last week we talked about prayer. Did you enjoy doing the steps of prayer the way we did it? Yeah? I have to tell you, I was with some friends over at Oscars on Sunday night, and what I realized is this can actually really go well to disco. And I have video, but Matt's here and I won't embarrass him by playing it. So, we found out that goes well with disco too. So you can pray anywhere. Doing anything, actually. Okay, so we've been talking about a lot of our spiritual tool belt and things that we can put in our spiritual toolkit. We talked about prayer last week, but this week I want to talk about mental equivalence, because prayer it doesn't work unless you have a mental equivalent. So today's talk is called Transcending Facts and Revealing Truth. Here's your affirmation. Let's go for it. I am a magnet. Yes, stop there. Let's just stop there. Say that again. I am a magnet. Okay, in your life right now, you have attracted to yourself the culmination of all of your thoughts and your beliefs. You are the magnet. You've already done it, and you're going to keep doing it. Keep going. I attract what I desire. Stop there. I attract what I desire. Some of the things I do, I desire, but you know what? What I didn't say here is I attract the things I desire and some things that I don't. Anybody? Yeah. So remember, when we say this, we have to remember keeping our intention. So again, I attract what I desire and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. So no matter what it is, if it's something we desire or something we don't, we attract it, and it executes itself perfectly in a universal, logical, and sequential ordering of events. Okay? Are you with me? Principle of mental equivalence. Here's what it says. Everything that is consciously and subjectively embodied in our thinking tends to radiate an atmosphere, a vibration, a current of thought, an inward acceptance which automatically attracts to itself that which is like itself. Remember a couple weeks ago I introduced the idea of a thoughtmosphere, right? That it's an atmosphere of thought. Okay, this is where I want to apply it again. The idea of this idea of principle of mental equivalence says this: we create a thoughtmosphere, and in that thoughtmosphere, everything radiates to us that we have in our thoughtmosphere bubble. All right? So imagine putting your thoughts into this thoughtmosphere, and then all of the universe is trying to create whatever it is that you have going into your thoughtmosphere. Does that make sense? So, spiritual healing is a revelation, even though we go through a process to arrive at it. So even though this spiritual healing is a revelation, in other words, I seek the idea comes into manifestation, that's a revelation. It has to go through a process, a very specific process. Each must work out their own method and pursue their own logic. If their method and logic lead them to the right conclusion, they will be rewarded by an affirmative answer. Affirmative in the affirmative or a negative affirmation? Really? The 9 o'clock was more awake for this? You've had 3 hours to be up and have coffee. Ready? Thank you. Each has to work out their own method. I can teach you methods, but each person's going to work out their own. Because why? You have an individualized relationship with Spirit. It's not going to be the same for me that it's going to be for you or the person next to you. There are no two ways to have this relationship. There's only your way to have a relationship with the infinite. So however you do that, your mind's going to work it out the way you believe it's going to be. But I have to tell you, there's a little trick here, and I found this, and it's too long to type up, so I just decided to share this with you. There's this thing called the law of polarity. All right? The law of polarity is, of course, a cosmic law. Everything is produced by two things. How many? Two. Everything. Everything is produced by two. You get it. Anything that is ever produced anywhere in the universe is produced by two other things. That is the law of polarity. In the organic world, we see it as parenthood, right? Animals, us, parenthood. The two come together and create the third, right? In the inorganic world, the world of physics and chemistry, we see it as the protons and electrons. That is how the material universe is built up. It always takes two things to produce a third. And that is the real ultimate meaning of the word Trinity. Now, we never talk about the Trinity very much, right? Because it seems like a concept that as soon as I say it, some of you go back to Sister Helen, right? And it feels really uncomfortable for you, and you're like, ooh, no, word Trinity, no, bad church, no, can't do it, Joe, shut up. There were Trinity doctrines before the time of Christ. They had trinities in ancient Egypt, India, and Babylonia. Always there's a Trinity, a father, mother, child, activity, material, production. Go where you like, seek where you will. You will find the Trinity. It is the building of thoughts, the two poles of clarity of thought and warmth of feeling and the knowledge of the feeling. Now, this is going to blow your mind. Are you ready? So we have the Trinity. We know that though the two become one. Two things together make the third. But here's what has to happen in the background. 99 times in 100, the reason why metaphysical students do not demonstrate is that they lack the feeling in their prayer. They speak the truth. Oh, yes, I'm a divine spirit. I am one with God. But then they don't feel it. The second part is missing. When they talk about their troubles, they are full of feeling, but when they speak of truth, they're about as cold as a dead fish. That is brilliant. Okay, so listen. So when you're talking about your problems, they are intense. You have feeling around them, aren't they? When you share them, they have life and there's fire in them. There's actually a passion in those things. But when you talk of what you want to experience, you go, I'm a perfect child of God. It lacks all that. When you talk about what you desire, it lacks that passion, that feeling. I may have the thought, I may know the process, but I don't know how to feel it. Does that make sense? There has to be the feeling in it. So we've learned how to talk, but we haven't learned how to feel faith. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about feeling the faith in the universe to do something. We have a logical brain that says A plus B equals C, and it works on a logical level, but we have more feeling and emotion around the negative things that go on versus the positive things that go on. Are you with me? If it's true, say amen. Amen. See, I'm not alone. See, we're all good and messed up. This is great. But listen, it gets better. The measure of our faith in the infinite is the measure of our capacity to draw from it. Now, here's where it is. Here's where it is. Have you ever said to yourself, I can't imagine what life would be like if I wasn't in pain? I can't imagine what it would feel like to be in a relationship. I can't imagine what it would feel like to have that kind of money. I can't imagine what it would feel like to have that kind of job. Well, your faith in the infinite, what did you just put in your thoughtmosphere? I can't imagine it, so and the universe is going to say, good, then don't. Then stop using your brain power on that. That's a waste of time. Because if you can't even imagine it, and what are you putting in your thoughtmosphere? You're putting in, no, I can't have this. So my faith in God is measured by my ability to believe that what I really want in my life is manifesting for me, and it has to have the same passion. And it is according to our mental acceptance or mental equivalence, according to our faith that life manifests through us. It's our acceptance of that this is my world. So you have to ask yourself, what is going on in your world? Because if it's going on in your world, then it's been in your thoughtmosphere. Ooh. That part I don't like. Because I have to be able to blame Satan. Right? I mean, I can't possibly be responsible for some of the messes that I'm in. Something else had to come through. No, it's all been a part of this. It's all been a part of that. Okay. Here's a couple concept here. This is kind of wordy. This is direct. I'm reading. You are getting textbook science of mind. I want you to know that. This is all coming from textbook stuff. And that's why it seems real wordy sometimes, and I got to really play it out. We create the nucleus, which attracts to itself its own correspondence in due order until the finished work is manifested on the external plane. Just wait. Wait for it. Our thought of anything forms a spiritual prototype of it, thus constituting a nucleus or center of attraction for all conditions necessary to its eventual externalization by law of growth inherent in the prototype itself. So, let me unpack that. You're creating a spiritual prototype. Just imagine when you have an idea, it's a spiritual prototype, and that prototype goes into your thoughtmosphere, right? And your belief around it, and then the universe you start attracting everything that will manifest it. And the problem is, when we start attracting or not attracting, we question whether or not the spiritual prototype has been properly placed. And we say, oh no, it's not God's will because it's not happening for me. No, wait it out. and still remain open because you just negated your thoughtmosphere by saying it's not supposed to happen. Are you with me? The spiritual prototype continues until the work is finished. I'm going to bring up a really sensitive thing. And some people might disagree with me, but this has just been my experience as a minister for 15 years. And this is an uncomfortable experience. I'm going to talk about something I didn't talk at the first service. But it just dawned on me. I have been around people whose children have committed suicide, or people have committed suicide. And people will tell me that that person had shared with them that they were going to do this. In other words, what was planted? A spiritual prototype. And then conditions may have changed, or people may have spoken to the person and they backed off it, but eventually they executed the plan. Why? Because that spiritual prototype was still there, and it still was a belief of the person who experienced the experience that they had. So, whether it is a planned execution of your departure from the planet, or whatever it is, you plant the prototype for it, and no matter what it is, the universe will provide you the avenue and will keep going until it's done, or you plant a new one. Exhale. I can't tell you how many times in 15 years I've talked to someone who said, you've got to help my child, and I go and we help them, and then years later they execute the plan. You're like, we did everything we could. We didn't plan that, but there was a prototype for that. There is a prototype for you in your life right now for health, for relationships, for wealth, for creativity, for jobs. It's all up there for you. It is there. There's a prototype waiting for you to craft it, to plant it in mind so it can be executed. Does that make sense? Yes. All right. Describing our good will bring it into sight. We feel less spiritual inspiration when we are whining and complaining, but when we shift and begin to praise and describe the good we desire, we get a sense of renewed spiritual fervor. It's easy to complain and whine, but talk about your dream and suddenly you light up in a different way. Your whole body chemistry changes when you start speaking of the thing that you desire, not the thing that you're in right now. Does that make sense? So there has to be that wisdom within you to see that the whining and complaining is nothing more than feeding a negative prototype that's going to experience in a negative way through the power of mental equivalence, all right? And then also that conversely, once I begin to start having an excitement about my life, an energy about my life, it's something to look forward to and a passion about my life, what am I planting? And it is going to manifest with that same fervor. It's so wonderful when that happens. Are you with me? Together. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. I am convinced that crisis and activities throughout our nation and world outpicture our collective cry for a new way in the world, a new way of being in the world. I have to know that. Like William said in his prayer, brilliant prayer, that even though we don't see it, it is unfolding for a higher and greater good. And it's uneasy because that's an uneasy feeling to sit in. How can that possibly be moving us in a direction for our good? Let's get the thoughtmospheres going. I think there are more people who believe in the right stuff going on in the world than there is about the wrong stuff going on in the world. I believe that there are more good, loving, and honest and true people than there are people that are the opposite of that. They just have a lot of press. They have a good media. They have good agents. But we don't need that. What we need, I'm convinced that this world is shifting. Why? Because the signs are starting to show up. The signs are just starting to show up. And it's not, I wish it was a speedboat turn. Just like this, but it's just a cruise ship turn. It's taken a while to get there, And it's hard sometimes to enjoy the ride when it's happening, but we have to understand that, look, what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to fix what's in here and fix our homes, our neighborhoods, our communities, our county, our state, our government, our United States of America, the continent, the world, that it starts, but where does it start? It has to start in my house first. If I'm broken, how can I do anything else? Does that make sense? Centers for Spiritual Living communities are envisioning a world that works for everyone. We've demonstrated that beliefs are not dependent on conditions in the outer world. Most important sentence, rather we experience the outer world as the demonstration of our inner world of beliefs. When our inner world of beliefs begin to change, the experience will change. Until then, we're just running around with a fire extinguisher trying to put out the things in our outer experience, thinking that if I fix the outside, the inside will get fixed. It's a complete 180. I have to fix the inside first before the outside can reflect that. Now, before you cringe, I have a disclaimer. Before you cringe at the next slide, and you will. I did while writing it. Please be open up to the idea that we need to reframe some of the past beliefs in order to look through the eyes of a new enlightened eyes, okay? In order to clear the way for something new, we have to confront our past. So this next slide has a lot to do with confronting your past. Maybe. I would say for a good 80% of you, the words I'm about to put on the screen confront an old paradigm. Are you ready? Brace yourself. Fasten your seatbelts. Being poor is a sin. Being sick is a sin. Being unhappy is a sin. Being lonely is a sin. Being fearful is a sin. I can't believe I've said Trinity and sin in the same day. That is like so far off my base. But why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think we call that a sin? Here you go. Sin is an error, a mistake. It's missing the mark. Sickness, poverty, unhappiness, loneliness, being fearful are all mistakes of the mind that have manifested them in our experience. So call it sin. That's just a word that says missing the mark. So all those things, all these fear-based derivatives of unhappiness, of scarcity, they're all mistakes in what? Your thoughtmosphere, my thoughtmosphere, and who planted them there? Yes, Sister Helen. Exactly. Who plants them there? Who feeds them? Oh, man, that sucks. Once again, I'm responsible for my own misery. Oh, that's exhausting, isn't it? It's just exhausting when you think about that. But I want you to think about how to reframe that because, like the reframing of the word Trinity today, the reframing of, it's a mistake that I'm not experiencing the best the world has to offer, the universe. It is a mistake. What am I missing? What am I not doing spiritually to create a life that I'm happy with? What am I missing? What kind of spiritual practice am I not doing? What am I attaching myself to create the situation that's unpleasant or uncomfortable or, needs to be fixed? Here it is. What is my participation in my own misery? If you look at the spiritual principles, which are always at work and as reliable as gravity, if you look at the spiritual principles, you have to look in the mirror. We have to look square in the mirror and go, that's it, I'm going to the Baptist church. It's easier. It's just easier. There is a subtle atmosphere around us, unperceived by us, but is silently attracting people to us or repelling them from us. And you know what? I can't, that song that Chadwick sang today, that beautiful song about, the caregiver. I mean, when you sign into marriage or a relationship, you sign into everything, including what he's saying about today. When you sign up for a job, or you sign up, or you have a kid. When you have a kid. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't go, that's terrible. Yay. No. All right, I'll share something. All right, I get to brag once. My kid made the dean's list at college this week. I know. So as much crap as I give her, sorry, as much as I roll my eyes about it, that's all eye rolling. And of course, that's putting in my thought atmosphere. So then that's not right, see? Oh, man. See how that works? All right, where was I? The kids do everything. Yeah, exactly. The kids do the opposite. All right, never mind. We are constantly attracting and repelling, and it's a silent thing that happens. You know that. You know that person that moves all the time? That's it, I'm moving to Boston. And you go, because the people are nicer there. And they get to Boston, and about 6 months later, that's it, I'm moving to Dallas. I heard the people are nicer there. They go down to Dallas. Oh, that's it, I'm moving to Chicago. Really? Chicago. Okay, all right. That's it, I'm moving to wherever, San Francisco. And you're like, really? And everywhere you go, the people are not nice? Have you ever thought you're the common denominator there? Just saying. Have you ever thought that maybe you're the one that's bringing those situations into your experience? Well, let's look at the law of attraction and the prototype. If I'm nasty and quarrelsome and, kind of bitter and angry, plant that seed in any city, who am I going to attract? The opposite? No. I'm going to attract more of myself. I'm going to multiply my misery by adding more miserable friends to it. Make sense? We entertain negative mental equivalents all the time. Why? So I've said it in the positive light. Take that image of something negative in your life and let's apply this word, this definition that we applied at the beginning. Everything that is consciously and subjectively embodied in our thinking tends to radiate an atmosphere, a vibration, a current of thought, and an inward acceptance which automatically attracts itself to that which is like itself. So pick a negative in your life and understand that you're using this law to uphold it, to keep it there. It's a spiritual law, just like gravity is a law. You're using it to keep it there. Together, please. I am a magnet. I attract what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief in the perfect order of the universe. Do you believe that to be true? Yes. So now we know. Last week, we learned all about prayer and how prayer works, right? And how we know how they fought the 5 steps. You know the process. Now I want you to see some mental equivalence and throw some passion and emotion into it so you add warmth and love to make it happen. If not, it becomes mechanical and distant and separate and cold fish. No one wants that. It requires you to have a passion about what you're doing. So we can teach you the basic run, spot, run basics, but until you put your heart into it, we won't change anything. And we are changing we are changing lives one heart at a time. That's our mission, right? So today I want you to change yours and how you're defining things around your life and how you're creating these thought atmospheres and how you're putting in spiritual prototypes. Make sure that you're doing the necessary spiritual work so you're manifesting what you want and desire. It's really simple. It sounds so simple. But if you were doing it right, your whole world would look different. So we all need help. And a reminder, I had a student who's 95 years old, and he started out at Dr. Holmes' church in downtown Los Angeles. He comes to my first service. He walked out, he says, I come here every week because even though I've been in this forever, and he says, I still need a reminder every single week because the rest of the universe doesn't really support this in its activities and what we read and what we do. So I've got to come back in here to get filled up and to remind myself that this is how this is done. And so I leave here on Sunday knowing that this is how this is done. I am a magnet and I'm attracting to myself the things I desire. Just keep saying that to yourself. And the logical and sequential order of the universe supports that activity, and I'm going to keep my mind focused on the things I want to experience, and I want to experience them with such emotion that my body just feels so much better when I'm in that state. I invite you to join me. I invite you to join me because the more of us that are together in this experience, the greater the life is going to be for not just our lives, but the lives of people around us will be much more pretty and pleasant. Much more pleasant to be around. Water will reach its own level by its own weight. Last slide. This is Dr. Holmes. A person who works for $10 a week has no mental equivalent for $500. There must be something inside us which equals the thing that we want to do. If you would equally distribute money among everybody, in 2 or 3 years, those who have no mental equivalent will not have the money. The people who are the most consciously aware along these lines will get it all back. Why? Because you have to build a consciousness. You don't just get the thing. You have to build a consciousness to sustain it. If someone plops a gift that you may use it for a little bit, but it's going to disappear if you don't have the capability and use the knowledge and wisdom it takes to continue to sustain it. So it's not just in the getting of something, it's sustaining it and keeping it in your life. If the universe plops a relationship into your lap, but you're not ready for one, you may enjoy playing around for a while, but then eventually you go, this isn't for me. It will pass you by. So remember, if it were all equally distributed, the people with the consciousness of keeping everything, not just money, but keeping good health and jobs and creativity and healthy lifestyles and relationships, all of those things, it's all the same thing. If you want to sustain it, you have to create the consciousness, which means it has to be in my thought atmosphere that this is here to stay. This is here to stay. I not only obtain it, I sustain it. This is here to stay. Does that make sense? Last one. The least we can, I'm sorry, I'm running long. The least we can do is create mental patterns of what we want rather than what we don't want. The last part of this is most important. We did not create the physical universe, but we can do and decide what our relationship to it will be. I did not create a situation in Texas this week, but I have to decide how I'm going to be in relationship to that. I did not create some of these situations that are going on in the world, but I have to be in relationship with it. If my relationship is a negative one, then how am I healing anything in the world or my life? If I jump onto the bandwagon of negativity, how am I healing anything in anyone's life, including my own? I'm not. I'm repelling the healing, and I'm actually going to manifest more misery. So I have to reframe how I'm looking at things and events in the world, so I have reframed it so I'm not continuing the problem. As spiritual awakened ones, we have to land the proper prototype in there to create the healing, and then we have to have feeling around it, we have to have prayer around it, and then we need to continue to support it with the ideas and not fall into the ditch of negativity that surrounds a lot of things. That make sense? I may not have created some of these situations, but I have to live in relationship to them because they are a part of my physical universe. And what affects them affects me. And what affects me affects them. Are we following? Last slide, I promise. Together, I am a magnet. I track what I desire, and I manifest it through my belief, the perfect order of the universe, and so ends your lesson. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's welcome Laura back, everybody.
I'm back. It's good to be back. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call our ushers to come forward, please. So this is a very sacred time of our service. This is when we recognize and are grateful for all the gifts in our life. It's not just about the center and the talk and the music. It is about every aspect of our life. And so we know that what we give returns back to us from that place of knowing that we are abundant. So those of you that are live streaming, there's also a donate button there for you to support and to give your gift to return back to the universe, or you can also text it in. So at this time, please go to that place of great gratitude for all that you have, and let us say our offering prayer together, please. I offer this gift with joy and gratitude. I receive freely and give freely, knowing the law of circulation is working perfectly in my life and the life of this center.
All right, here we go, folks. Join with us. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Come on, I can't hear you. Come on. Every day, come on. I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Yeah, I like it. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Okay, we got it. It's up to me to be thankful. It's up to me to be kind. It's up to me to be grateful. It's up to me. It's up to me. All right, everybody stand up. Let's sing it. Let's go. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Come on, hear it out. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. One more time, all the way through. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Yeah, last time. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life.
Woo! All right, all right. So we have Dale up here today. We all know Dale, but maybe what you don't know is Dale is also the vice president of our board of trustees. So we want that consciousness here with our offering, right? All right. So let us say our prayer together as we bless our offering. We bless this collective offering and receive it with gratitude, knowing it is spirit in action. As this currency flows through our center and beyond, it blesses many lives, including my own. Thank you, Dale. All right, so at this time, I'd like to welcome our visitors. If you are here for the first time, please stand up. Don't be bashful. We love to welcome you, and we have a gift for you. All right, welcome, welcome. Over here to Nancy. And, we got two of them right here. All right, so what we're giving you is a CD, an empty CD holder with information about our center, but please stop by the foyer to our concierge and have them give you a CD. They have a CD there for you to welcome you. It's our gift to you. And, if you're from the desert, please come back here and plant yourself here. We're a wonderful community, I think, anyway. And but if you're visiting, please enjoy yourself. This is just an example of what we have here every week. And we have so much else, so much more going on. This is our prayer team that will be over in the Om room, which is the next room, the next building over. If you are going through something and you want to do prayers, you want our prayer team, they are powerful. If you want to create that mental equivalent and get a booster on that, go over there and have a practitioner pray with you. Today is our pet ministry. They have baked goods, the last one of the season, so please support them, get baked goods.
And I want to thank Julie Diane for doing an incredible, in 10 days, she pulled together an incredible rummage sale. We had a very successful one. Thank you for all your donations and all your support. Bake sale.
Thank you. And adorable little furry friends to take home. Last chance for the season. Last chance for the season. They're adorable. So go out there and support our pet ministry. All right. So I apologize for anybody who showed up for my class last week and I wasn't there. I will be here this Tuesday. Don't forget our Wednesday night service. Look at every day of the week, there's something here except Monday. So you can take a little breather on Monday, all right? So anyway, don't forget Chadwick is out there with his CDs, so please support him. Take him home. He was amazing. I know he'll be back here again. So let's just do a closing prayer. So right here and right now, I recognize the sacredness of this moment. I recognize that power, that love, that divine intelligence that is within myself and is within each and every one of you. This life is expressing its perfection, its wholeness, its love and compassion through each and every one of us. We are that reflection of that wholeness. And so we take this lesson today, we plant our mental equivalent, we put that enthusiasm, we nurture it with that divine passion, knowing that this is the truth and it cannot be any other way. And knowing this, we live from that place, we live from that wholeness, from that knowing, from that love, knowing that it is already done in the mind of God and that this love is perpetuated. This love is springing up everywhere because we are aware of it. Our hearts are touching other hearts, and so it goes on. So I am so grateful for this powerful message today to remind us of the truth. So grateful for our wonderful music that opened up our hearts to receive this powerful message. And I'm so grateful for each person here who takes that into their lives and expresses it out in the world, because we are changing the world. We are creating that world that works for everyone. So I know that this is the truth, and I am so grateful for it. And so I release my word into that divine law that always says yes. I know it is already done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week, everyone.